Breakfast. I'm Ibrahim Shita, and I'm not here alone. It's a beautiful Friday morning. I've got Kemi Foladeyemo here.
Good morning to you. Ibrahim. Good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
Thank God it's Friday.
Thank God it's Friday. And I'm sure that
Absolutely.
you didn't have a hassle to get into the office this morning.
You know how it is, one day, one problem, but we somehow surmount.
Absolutely. It's nice to see you. Today we'll be looking at issues around war against corruption, looking at the task ahead of the EFCC chairman, Olukoyede, and also we'll be talking about the restoration of national values, where the federal government is set to reactivate orientation offices nationwide because of the lost values in Nigeria, and so on and so forth. But first, we'll be starting with the latest information from the National Assembly, where the House of Representatives has asked the federal government and other subnational governments to ban the use of a popular children's textbook, Queen Primer, in schools across the country. The lawmakers asked the federal, state, and local government to ban the book because it contains words like gay, heroes, and others considered to be offensive. The House of Reps says there is a covert attempt to slip books with immoral culture into primary and secondary schools in Nigeria. The book, Queen Primer, is alleged to be subtly introducing terms like gay, heroes, etc., that communize sexual perversion and immoral behaviors, and thus exposing innocent children to terms inappropriate for their age. Quite amazing information there, where the National Assembly, are able to find out some of the words that are considered to be inimical to the growth or to the values of this country. I remember growing up, we read the book Queen Primer. I'm not sure whether it's in that same book we read, I go up I go. Right. Am I to go up?
Very correct.
Yeah, is it to go up it goes, the words, which the lawmakers highlighted, there are two here that I can, pinpoint, which is gay and heroes. What do you make of it, Ken?
It's interesting that the House of Reps is taking this, and they raised quite a number of valid points, Ibrahim. And just before the show started this morning, we were talking about the word. I tried to, check out the heroes word because, like you said, this is a very popular word. It is a very popular book. I think I must have read the book because I remember up I go is such a very familiar phrase that, many of us in Nigeria, are conversant with that book, Queen Primer. So, and I know that present day children are also using the books because, we have them all around us and, they carry these books all around. In fact, I can totally relate with Queen Primer. And I checked up the book. But the word gay, of course, we know it's a term used, is a lingo used for homosexuality and all that. But the context in which it was used in this particular book now is the other meaning, which means to be happy, to be cheerful, let us be gay, let us go out and have fun. Those were the words as I saw them online, but I couldn't yet find the word heroes. But apparently the lawmakers are also speaking from a point of view of knowledge, and some of them say they've seen the book. Some of them also alluded to the fact that in Kano State, for example, the book has been banned. But I think the long and short of it for me, amongst other valid points that they raise, is that our educational, agencies need to scrutinize all these materials. This will not be the first time we'll be having issues. There's been concern about even the regular cartoons that children have access to, and there's been, some words found offensive, especially in our climate where, as per the laws are concerned, homosexuality, anything that has to do with gay is a total no-no. And so it is, essential that our children are guarded, very well to be sure that they are not unduly exposed to what they shouldn't see or hear.
I think the context where gay is used, especially this poem, Monday Child, and I read, it says, Monday Child is fair of face, Tuesday child is full of grace, Wednesday child is full of woe, Thursday child has far to go, Friday child is loving and giving, Saturday child has to work hard for his living, but the child born on Sunday is bonny and blithe and good and gay. So just like you said, the context where it is used, in that context means carefree,
right,
light-hearted. But the word eros actually means, sexual desire.
There's no other meaning for that.
Absolutely,
right.
it means sexual desire, and the word origin is actually from the Greek god of love. So it's really something that we need to pay more attention to, and our teachers, they are supposed to look at the pedagogic skills that they will be introducing to the children, because we can't keep consuming what is coming from outside of this country. We need to have our own homegrown content.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Where we teach our children the values and all of that. So many things that we really have to pay attention to. Just like the cartoons that you mentioned, you said some of them are really not good for our children, to be consumed by our children. I remember the days where we watched Tom and Jerry, and even the day of 2D.
Right.
We just watch all of these things, and there are no hidden or subtle way of reorientating our children or changing their values into some of the things that we really feel that will affect them in the near future. And that's what we are seeing. We see what people are calling themselves today, transgender. We see men marrying men. We see Nigerians even leaving this country saying that it's their right. That's the way they feel. They just feel that they are women, and they just want to get married to their fellow man. It's simply stupid, because if your parents are not married, how did they procreate? How did they brought you to, how did they bring you to life? So all of these things, they just need to, I just feel it's psychologically, imbalanced to think that this is what I want to go through. And I love the fact that Nigeria is really, getting on top of this matter, where they do not want this thing to thrive.
Right, and of course, there are so many ways to look at it. Even the role of parents cannot also be overemphasized. Some would also say we put too much, burden on teachers, on school, on caregivers. What about the roles of parents? I think parents, as parents, we also need to do more where the welfare of our children are concerned. We also need to be more watchful about what they have access to. We all see the dangers of social media amidst the gains and, positives that come from the social media. And of course, the bigger issue of, children's welfare, out of school children. There's so many issues that in the Nigerian state we need to focus more on. This is one of them. It's good to see that the lawmakers are talking about this, but we also want to see them give more attention to other issues that pertain to children.
That's right.
Only last week we were talking about more than 20 million children who are out of school. These are very worrisome indicators, and more needs to be done by governments at all levels to ensure that children are better catered for across all divides.
Well, we'll see how all of these things, pan out, because, poor parenting is also involved. People find themselves in club. No big deal when you meet anyone anywhere. It just depends on where you come from. So, they find themselves wherever, copulate, and then they give birth to children, and these children in turn become problem to the society. So, and all of these things also start from school. You see some teachers was trying to instill good values, good morals in children. Yesterday I read a story of a man who went back to school to beat the teacher, all of the teachers, to death, simply because the child was
this was in Nigeria. I remember
in Nigeria.
I saw the link.
Exactly. So, they said they stole a keg of palm wine. And even if you want to claim that your child is not one of them, why is it I think the question to ask is, why is it moving or associating with people that will be termed to be maybe thieves or anything? And you went back to beat the teacher, and as a result, one of them died. I feel that's very bad. Growing up, we were taught, we were trained by the community, we were raised by the community. If you go back home and you tell exactly, if you go home and report to your parents that your parents, they will beat you in return.
They'll ask, what did you do?
What did you do?
Then we'll wait and see how you would actually report yourself. And if of course, the default reaction will be you will be beaten extra at home.
That's right. Let's bring you the news at this time.